The ideas of transformation and self-discovery are some of the main themes presented in Irving Rapper's 1942 film Now Voyager that symbolize a rise in feminism and the promotion of self-esteem for the female audience. Throughout the film, Charlotte's journey or voyage is defined by how she handles her personal challenges, such as breaking away from her mother's control, accepting her past, and discovering where she will end up. This inevitably led Charlotte towards embodying the role of a progressive woman, one who embraces her independence through making her own choices and sustaining a strong mentality throughout any life circumstance. Charlotte Vale's transformation and its influence on the concept of a modern woman is illustrated in Now Voyager, with the development of costume, the role of her appearance on camera, and Bette Davis's character portrayal through powerful dialogue and effective acting mannerisms. One of the most unique parts of Charlotte Vale's character is the gradual change in her physical appearance and wardrobe. In the beginning scenes, Davis takes on a more unpleasant form meant to display Charlotte as a timid, apprehensive, unconfident female character. Her outfit consisted of a complicated polka-dotted dress alongside unstylish Oxford shoes, glasses, and very tightly kept hair meant to prevent her from feeling free and independent. However, as the film progresses and Charlotte becomes more expressive, her wardrobe becomes less complicated, highlighting her female form in a fashionable style. Martin Shingler wrote about how the change in Davis's appearance in public during the time of the film's release had a positive effect on women going into the workforce and embracing new identities. For example, he quoted a woman who said Charlotte's transformation held a special meaning for American women faced with the necessity of discovering their own inner strength and power. This idea emphasizes that a makeover for women uplifts the female identity, showing that looking feminine does not discount having equal importance to men. This is represented through Charlotte's change in her appearance through the film, as she loses her glasses, tight hairstyle, and concealing dresses to more glamorous looks, with looser hair, fitted dresses, face coverings, and wide-brimmed hats. The movie presents this change in a positive light by establishing Charlotte's increasing attractive appearance parallel to her growing confidence and self-esteem. Alongside the development of wardrobe in Now Voyager, the way that the camera shots presents Charlotte's appearance plays a strong role in her transformation throughout the film, particularly before and after her costume alteration. The first instance occurs in Charlotte's first sighting when she is walking down the stairs of the mansion to meet with Dr. Jackwith. The camera primarily focuses on a close-up of her shoes as she hesitates to join the group. The second instance, Charlotte is instead standing on a gangway to the shore boat that will begin her voyage. This time, however, the camera pans from her shoes in a quicker motion up to her face, revealing her gorgeous new outfit and facial composure. Instead of looking away from Charlotte's face, the camera holds there as if instigating a gaze directed towards Charlotte's new glamorous appearance. This contrast is important to consider when analyzing female pride and boldness that Now Voyager presents within Charlotte's character. Initially, in the first example, the camera focuses on her shoes descending down the stairs in hesitant motion, almost avoiding her face, which consequently embraces Charlotte's low self-esteem in her appearance. However, after Charlotte begins her transformation, the camera focuses less on her shoes and dress and more on her posture, poise, and facial expression, demonstrating an elevated confidence in her character and her role as a woman. Another example of this change is the contrast between Charlotte's entrances to the foyer of the mansion at the start of the film and after returning from her voyage. In the beginning, the camera presents Charlotte's entrance to greet her mother Lisa and Dr. Jackwith, almost as if she is behind the scenes or in the shadows until her presence is noticed. In contrast, when Charlotte returns and stands in the same space, there is a profound silence as party guests stop all conversation, drawn into her astonishing appearance wearing her elegant black gown. In this instance, Charlotte embraces her new identity and conducts the party very confidently, much different than earlier when she seems to observe the room rather than control it. After finding herself away from her mother's authority and making her own choices, Charlotte demonstrates what women can aspire to be after accepting themselves as individuals. Aside from her appearance, Charlotte's character also changes the way she carries herself emotionally and verbally. Martin Shingler and Christine Gledhill discuss the techniques of Bette Davis's acting mannerisms that contribute to her ability to portray a character. The style unique to Bette Davis, consisting of darting eye movements, striding walks, and strong gestures, is one of the many factors of how Now Voyager portrays Charlotte as a character who transforms from an emotionally unstable female to a strong, powerful woman who commands her own conversations. Davis and her scriptwriters work to make visible acting operate as a metaphor for the human identity, and in this process embody the condition of performance as a process of self-making. In other words, Bette Davis's ability to act in her own confidence contributed to Charlotte's becoming a self-made woman of high self-esteem, while also setting a strong female model for her audience. Mark Glancy wrote in an article about Bette Davis that her audience liked to think of themselves as women of the world and took Davis as their model of the modern, sophisticated woman who could drink, smoke, banter, and hold her own in social situations. This is seen throughout the film with Charlotte's increasing confidence in herself and her choices. For example, in the beginning she hid her cigarettes, whereas later on Charlotte smoked openly with little hesitation. This demonstrates her growing role as a modern woman rather than someone who is restrained by traditional expectations. A similar remark made by Stanley Cavell in his essay on Now Voyager states that the quality of stardom or magnetism is not what is called their personal beauty, but lies in their declaration of distinctness and freedom of human existence. This statement is represented when Charlotte refuses to allow men to influence her decisions.
Just a personal idiosyncrasy. We're all entitled to them.
In the ending sequence, after Charlotte mentions wanting Tina to live with her, Jerry says to her,
"No self-respecting man would allow such self-sacrifice as yours to go on indefinitely."
Why, Jerry, that's the most conventional, pretentious, pious speech I ever heard in my life.
Jerry does not see that Charlotte has distinct desires for herself apart from him. Through Charlotte's character, Bette Davis uses this dialogue to represent that women can be strong and bold in their choices in confrontations with people who assume they cannot make decisions without the influence of a man. Still, there is often debate about whether Now Voyager can be characterized as a feminist film. For instance, the plot and Charlotte's emotions revolve around her romantic encounter with Jerry Durance, calling into question if the film identifies Charlotte's transformation based on a man or on herself. Lee Jacobs argues that Now Voyager is not a model of feminist film because it presents a woman's desire from taking form through the identification of multiple men. In the argument, Jacobs claims that the beginning of Charlotte's journey away from her mother's control represents her initiation into desire. While it's true that Charlotte's journey often comes at the expense of her relationships with men, such as her defiance about her relationship with Leslie, leaving home with the help of Dr. Jackwith, and her elevated confidence from the relationship with Jerry, it cannot discredit her accomplishment of becoming more confident and self-dependent. It should be recognized that while women do not need a man to be happy, they are still entitled to their true feelings. As portrayed by Charlotte's relationship with Jerry, love is used to empower her transformation because she pursues her true feelings while discovering her identity instead of letting those emotions be suppressed. Although the film's narrative includes her interactions with male characters, Bette Davis's role as Charlotte Vale resembles a positive change in the depiction of women in cinema.
I'm just wondering, you the same woman who a few months ago hadn't a single interest in the world?
No.
Her role as Charlotte stands out in its ability to transform a timid character to one of glamour, confidence, and power, demonstrating that women can accomplish beauty, independence, and strength.